It was a gloomy Tuesday evening when the invitation arrived, a weathered parchment sealed with wax, bearing the insignia of a long-forgotten boarding school. The sender remained anonymous, intriguingly referencing my penchant for unraveling mysteries of the past. The words on the parchment read, "You are cordially invited to delve into the secrets of St. Agnes Boarding School. The shadows of history await your discovery. Come, if you dare, and unearth the tales that linger within the walls of our abandoned halls." Intrigued by the cryptic message, my curiosity overcame any reservations. The allure of untold stories and the promise of unlocking the secrets hidden within the aged corridors of St. Agnes compelled me to embark on this enigmatic journey. Upon arriving in St. Augustine, the town embraced by the mysteries of time, I found myself drawn to the old boarding school. The atmosphere was thick with a sense of anticipation as I approached the entrance gate. Rusty chains dangled, barely holding the gate in place, as if daring any curious soul to enter the domain of the forgotten. The school's façade, once grand, now stood as a haunting silhouette against the dimming twilight. The windows, broken and shattered, seemed to echo the silent screams of the past. As I stepped onto the cobblestone path leading to the entrance, a gust of wind whispered through the trees, setting the stage for the eerie tale that awaited within. The invitation's mystery began to unfold as I crossed the threshold. The main hallway greeted me with faded wallpaper peeling off like memories forgotten. Dust danced in the slivers of sunlight that managed to penetrate the broken windows. It was as if the very air carried the stories of a bygone era, eager to be told. With each step, the wooden floor creaked beneath my weight, adding a haunting soundtrack to my exploration. The air grew heavy, and an invisible presence seemed to guide me through the labyrinth of forgotten classrooms and abandoned dormitories. The invitation had become a silent beckoning, urging me deeper into the heart of the enigma that was St. Agnes Boarding School. As I ventured further into the dilapidated corridors of St. Agnes Boarding School, the dormitory loomed ahead like a relic from a spectral past. Its once vibrant walls now bore the scars of time, and the air within was heavy with the weight of forgotten secrets. The entrance to the dormitory stood ajar, creaking ominously as I pushed it open. Faint moonlight filtered through shattered windows, casting eerie shadows that danced across the faded wallpaper. The silence was palpable, broken only by the occasional rustle of unseen creatures scurrying in the darkness. The dormitory's hallway stretched before me like a desolate maze of abandoned memories. Each door I passed seemed to guard a fragment of the past, and as I approached a particular room, a soft murmur of whispers reached my ears. It was as if the walls themselves retained the echoes of conversations that had long ceased to exist. Upon entering one of the rooms, I felt an inexplicable chill. The remnants of bunk beds stood as silent witnesses to the lives once intertwined within these walls. Flickering shadows seemed to dance on the walls, and the air was charged with an otherworldly energy. As I explored further, the whispers grew more distinct, weaving tales of students who had called this dormitory home. Stories of laughter and camaraderie were interwoven with whispers of tragedy and despair. It became apparent that the dormitory held the lingering imprints of its former inhabitants, trapped in a spectral loop that replayed the echoes of their lives. In the room at the end of the hallway, I discovered a collection of old photographs strewn across a dusty floor. Faces frozen in time stared back at me, capturing moments of joy, mischief, and innocence. Yet, behind the façade of smiling faces, there was a haunting melancholy, as if the photographs themselves yearned to tell a tale left untold. As I exited the dormitory, the whispers seemed to follow, fading into the shadows of the night. The dormitory of St. Agnes had become a realm where the past and present converged, and the lingering whispers left me haunted by the untold stories that awaited discovery in the recesses of this enigmatic boarding school. Leaving the dormitory behind, I ventured towards the outskirts of the St. Agnes boarding school campus, guided by an otherworldly compulsion to explore every corner of its haunted history. A short walk led me to a place where the laughter of children had once harmonized with the rustling leaves of an abandoned playground. The rusted swing sets creaked in the chilling breeze as I stepped onto the forgotten playground. The air carried a spectral stillness, and the moon cast elongated shadows that seemed to sway in rhythm with the overgrown grass. The atmosphere hinted at a place where the echoes of youth had been silenced, replaced by a haunting ambience that stirred the imagination. The ghostly remnants of a sandbox lay untouched, an eerie reminder of playful days long gone. As I walked through the neglected space, a strange sensation overcame me, a whisper of laughter, a fleeting touch of a spectral hand. The boundary between the past and present blurred, and the playground became a stage where the spirits of children played out their memories. The swings, bereft of any recent use, moved with an ethereal grace, as if animated by unseen hands. The ghostly echoes of children's laughter resonated through the air, accompanied by the distant echoes of a nursery rhyme that seemed to linger in the atmosphere. It was as if the spirits of the past sought to recreate the joy that once filled this abandoned haven. Beneath the moonlit sky, I noticed faint, childlike apparitions flickering at the periphery of my vision. These ephemeral specters, caught in a timeless dance, appeared to be reliving moments of carefree play. The boundary between the tangible and the spectral blurred further, leaving me to question whether the playground had become a portal to a realm where the innocence of childhood lingered eternally. As I left the ghostly playground behind, the laughter and spectral echoes slowly faded into the night. The abandoned swings swayed one last time, carrying with them the ethereal remnants of a past that clung to the St. Agnes boarding school like a lingering fog, refusing to dissipate with the passage of time. My exploration of St. Agnes boarding school brought me to a foreboding structure that loomed at the heart of the campus, the chapel. Its towering spire pierced the sky, a silent sentinel bearing witness to the spiritual turmoil that had unfolded within its sacred walls. As I approached the chapel's entrance, the atmosphere shifted. The air, once filled with the ghostly echoes of a playground, became charged with a different kind of energy. The wooden doors groaned as I pushed them open, revealing a cavernous interior cloaked in shadows. Sunlight struggled to penetrate the stained glass windows, casting an otherworldly glow upon the worn pews. The scent of damp wood and ancient prayer books filled the air, creating an unsettling juxtaposition of sanctity and decay. The chapel, it seemed, held the essence of both divine reverence and a malevolent force that defied its sacred purpose. The silence within the chapel was deafening, broken only by the distant sound of creaking timbers and the occasional fluttering of disturbed pigeons. The stained glass windows depicted scenes of biblical virtue, yet an inexplicable sense of desolation pervaded the sacred space. As I explored further, I stumbled upon a hidden alcove tucked away behind the altar. Within, a small chamber revealed an ancient organ, its keys worn with age. It was said that the chapel's organ had once played hymns that resonated through the halls, filling the hearts of the faithful with a divine reverence. Now, however, the organ seemed to carry a mournful melody, a requiem for the souls whose fates had been entwined with the cursed history of St. Agnes. In the center of the chapel, I discovered a forgotten confessional, its wooden panels bearing the weight of countless whispered sins. It was here that the malevolent force seemed to manifest more strongly. The confessional's aura exuded a palpable darkness, and the air within grew thick with a sense of foreboding. In the shadowed corners of the chapel, cryptic symbols adorned the walls, marks of a forgotten ritual that hinted at a darker chapter in the school's history. As I deciphered the inscriptions, a chilling realization dawned: the chapel had borne witness to a curse that transcended the boundaries of the divine. Leaving the chapel, I couldn't shake the feeling that the sanctity of St. Agnes had been irrevocably tainted. The cursed chapel stood as a testament to the lingering malevolence that seeped into every corner of the boarding school, leaving me to wonder what other secrets the decaying halls held. In my relentless pursuit of unraveling the mysteries shrouding St. Agnes boarding school, my search led me to a forgotten chamber tucked away behind a disused bookshelf in the school's abandoned library. There, amidst the dust-covered tomes, I discovered a hidden compartment containing a fragile artifact, a weathered diary with cryptic symbols adorning its cover. The diary belonged to Emily Wainwright, a former student who had resided within the ominous halls of St. Agnes. Its yellowed pages chronicled Emily's experiences, serving as a portal to a bygone era tainted by shadows and suppressed whispers. Emily's entries began with tales of seemingly ordinary school life, friendships formed, classes attended, and youthful dreams shared in the hallowed dormitories. However, as the pages turned, the narrative darkened, revealing the cracks beneath the surface of the idyllic institution. Amidst the faded ink, Emily recounted unsettling visions that haunted her dreams, ghostly figures that wandered the dormitory, mournful whispers that echoed through the halls, and a pervasive feeling of being watched. The once cohesive narrative of her entries disintegrated into fragmented thoughts, mirroring the unraveling sanity of a tormented soul. The cryptic symbols, carefully interspersed between Emily's words, hinted at esoteric rituals and a sinister undercurrent that permeated the very fabric of St. Agnes. It became evident that Emily, and perhaps others, had borne witness to a malevolent force that defied comprehension, a force that seemed to feed on the fear and despair of those ensnared within its web. As I delved deeper into the diary, Emily's final entries took a desperate tone. She spoke of an impending ritual, ominous gatherings in the cursed chapel, and a growing realization that the school itself was a vessel for a maleficent entity. Her words painted a portrait of a community ensnared by a curse, a community that had unwittingly become instruments in a dark and unholy symphony. The discovery of Emily's diary left me with more questions than answers. The cryptic symbols, the disturbing visions, and the impending ritual hinted at a sinister force that transcended the bounds of the natural world. It was as if the very essence of St. Agnes had been tainted by an ancient malevolence that persisted, eager to ensnare any who dared to delve into its secrets. The diary became both a key to unlocking the past and a harbinger of the ominous events yet to unfold within the haunted corridors of St. Agnes boarding school. In the waning hours of my investigation into the haunting mysteries of St. Agnes boarding school, my journey reached a pivotal moment, a chilling encounter that would forever alter my perception of the supernatural. Driven by the cryptic revelations within Emily's diary, I found myself drawn back to the cursed chapel. As I crossed its threshold, a palpable tension hung in the air, a foreboding energy that seemed to pulse with each heartbeat. The symbols etched upon the chapel walls appeared to shimmer with an unholy radiance, casting an eerie glow that danced across the pews. As I stood before the altar, the air thickened with an otherworldly presence. A spectral figure materialized, an ethereal silhouette that emanated both sorrow and desperation. The apparition, veiled in a ghostly aura, bore the visage of Emily Wainwright, the tormented soul whose diary had served as a portal into the haunting history of St. Agnes. Emily's apparition spoke in hushed whispers, each word resonating with the weight of unspoken truths. She recounted the events that had led to the curse, the clandestine rituals, the malevolent force that had taken root within the chapel's hallowed walls, and the unwitting participation of the students in a dark and unholy pact. The apparition's plea was one of anguish, a desperate entreaty for release from the spectral chains that bound her and the restless souls of St. Agnes. The curse, it seemed, had forged a connection between the living and the dead, trapping the spirits within a perpetual cycle of torment and despair. As Emily's ghostly figure reached out, an invisible force seemed to envelop me, transporting my consciousness to a realm where time itself was distorted. Visions of the past unfolded before my eyes, the ritualistic gatherings, the esoteric symbols etched in blood, and the unwitting students ensnared in a malevolent dance orchestrated by forces beyond their comprehension. In the final moments of the spectral communion, Emily's apparition uttered a haunting warning. The curse, she revealed, was intricately woven into the very fabric of St. Agnes, and any attempt to sever its bonds would unleash a torrent of malevolence that could consume the living and the dead alike. As the apparition faded into the shadows, the chapel fell silent. The weight of the revelations pressed upon me, leaving me to grapple with the moral quandary of whether to heed Emily's plea for release or confront the malevolent force that lurked within the haunted corridors of St. Agnes boarding school. Leaving the chapel, I found myself at a crossroads, torn between the desire to free the tormented souls and the looming threat of unleashing an ancient and insidious evil. The final chapter of my journey remained uncertain, as the haunted history of St. Agnes held its secrets close, waiting to reveal the fateful conclusion that awaited those who dared to unravel its enigmatic tapestry.